Today I'm bringing you an Easter layout. I thought that would be appropriate given that it's Easter Saturday. So I went on to the Cricut Design studio and I have a subscription, so I don't know how much this cut file would be normally. But I cut out the Easter egg cut file, I duplicated it, I think I did it 4 times, and created these Easter eggs. So there's like a decorative half and then there's the backing to it. So what I decided to do was thinking about Easter eggs, like when the kids open them up and there's foil everywhere. So obviously this is the perfect thing to use your gold leaf or your foil on. So I pulled out my foil, and which I haven't used in years, and I think I've used it twice this year already. And I have to start this video with an apology. My voice is still not right. Still got the old laryngitis going. It's driving me crazy. So I apologise if I have to cough. I apologise. I will try not to. Okay, so I know I'm doing this slightly wrong. I know that you're supposed to put on the gilding solution, what do they call it? Gilding adhesive. You're supposed to put it on, you're supposed to wait 30 minutes, let it go tacky, and then put your foil on top. My gilding adhesive is quite old, so it actually dries very, very quickly. So I just went with the old Aussie, she'll be right, mate, don't worry about it, it'll be all good. So I just did that, and look, it worked a treat. It really did. And it's set up beautifully. It's not a problem at all. What I'm actually using to put it on there with is a silicone tipped. I showed you at the very beginning, but I have sped this up so that I can leave all of the process in there. A lot of you have actually asked me to do that, to leave the process instead of editing out, and that way you can see that all scrappers have the same issues. Doesn't matter. It all comes down to editing. That's truly what it comes down to. If you're a better person in the editing phase, you can make it look amazing and so straightforward. But I'm not perfect. I stuff things up. I mean, seriously, who pulls out a whole sheet of foil like that? Anyway, that's a lot of gold. That's a lot of gold. But I love the foil. I really do. I love it. Absolutely love it. Now, I have got one heck of a list to go underneath in the description box, because you want to know why? Hang on, I need to have a drink. Okay, you want to know why? Because I actually used no paper packs for this. I created this entire layout from cut files and ink, the whole thing. So there's no, I can't just sort of go such and such a paper and that was it. So there is a bit of a list to go down underneath. Sorry, excuse me, I apologise. Okay, and I even pulled out the silver. The very beginning I thought, oh, no, I don't want silver. Silver's just going to be boring. But I'm glad I did it now, because it gives your eye that break between the bronze. So the bronze one is actually bronze starburst. That's what it's called. The Mont. If you're an Aussie and you're watching this, I actually get I've had these for quite a few years now, and they're Marte brand, and they're called Designer Leaf. So I have Starburst, Designer Leaf, Gold Leaf, and Silver Leaf. So to be completely honest with you, it worked a treat. The reason I left it on the Cricut mat, I wasn't 100% certain that I wasn't going to stuff up my mat. I really wasn't. I know that sometimes you do these things and you go, oh, whoops. But It's alright, I just flick the excess into the bin. It's a messy process. I was prepared when I was doing this yesterday and this morning. I've been up since 1 a.m., just FYI. Why have I been up since 1 a.m.? This stupid cough. I cannot get rid of it. It's driving me crackers. It's not COVID. I've tested myself a total of 7 times over the course of the last week. It is definitely not COVID. But I tell you what, this cough is killing me. Did I make that look really hard? Yeah, I kind of did. Okay, so I don't make you watch through all the difficult parts because, see, okay, so herein lies the problem I thought I would have. I thought it would be really, really difficult to remove the pieces out of, once I'd put the gilding adhesive on there, I thought it'd be really, really hard to pull out the negative part of this egg. Does that make sense? So obviously every cut file has a positive and negative part to it. I thought it would be really difficult, but because I didn't wait for the gilding adhesive to go tacky and to dry properly, it actually wasn't hard at all. It was it was actually quite therapeutic, I've got to tell you. So I didn't ruin my Cricut mat at all. I was prepared to because that one's getting really old. I've used it a lot. Now, what I do here is I leave this bit in, but I don't leave the whole lot in. So don't look at this and go, oh my God, is she going to do each and every one of those? I know you have said that you don't want me to edit, but I'm sure you don't want to sit there and watch me pull out negative pieces out of an Easter egg 12 times over. Oh dear. That's all right. Okay, so what else can I tell you? I hope everyone's going to have an awesome Easter tomorrow. My family, we're just chilling. We're not really doing much of anything. I think I'm going to cook a roast and we're going to have a nice dinner. That's about it. Enjoy some family time. No scrapping tomorrow. Just going to enjoy some family time. What else can I tell you? Next week. Okay, so school goes back next week. So I will be back on we have Monday as a public holiday, and then we are back to doing the school routine, and gymnastics is back, and yeah, how cool does that egg look? Okay, and with the magic of editing, bazinga, they're done. Okay, so this is the other part to the Easter eggs that I'm just pulling off. I'm still using that broken mat, by the way, for those who are following along, and I'm still using the cheap Cricut blade. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here, do you remember when you were young? And if you are young, I apologise to sound really old. Do you remember when you used to dip the eggs in dye and used to dye the real eggs for Easter? That's what I was trying to recreate. I was trying to sort of, yeah, I didn't want it to be solid like that pink one. I wanted it to be speckledy. That's what I was trying to get to happen. I didn't want just, I think it sort of lends itself to I'll just do those in colour and sit them behind the foil and that'll be fine. I didn't want it to be that simple. What I really wanted was to use as many of my bright distress inks that I possibly could. And I think I achieved it. I have to be honest, in the beginning, that pink and purple one, it was a bit of this is going to be a bit hit and miss. I don't know if this is going to work. But then I took a step back and went, I worked out what I was doing wrong. So I had a really good little spray bottle. And we ended up having to use it for something else during COVID times. And I haven't bought another one. Anyway, but I digress. So what I ended up doing was, sorry, drink. So what I ended up doing was I bought these air fresheners from Coles, and just, your room spritz, and it's got the same squirty top on it, like it's got like a really good trigger on it. Anyway, so that's what I'm using. That it's exactly the same trigger that I used to have on the other one, but I have now learned just do half a squeeze, just tiny bit, and that's right about there. That's when I realised, okay, and if I spread it around, I'm using my Cricut hook, my weeding tool. See, don't the spots look so much better? I think it just looks more Easter eggy. It looks Easter eggy. Oh my God. Okay, if I laugh, I'm going to cough. I can't laugh. Okay, serious. Oh, gee whiz. Trying to be serious here. Okay, I'll get through this voiceover. My voice is getting croaky. I apologise. Okay. Oh, and now my neighbour's going to come home with his motorbike. Now I'm going to keep talking so you can hear my croaky voice as opposed to his Harley Davidson. Okay. Now we're starting to cook with gas. This is where I went, throw caution to the wind, and just, you know what? Just do it. What's the worst that can happen? You need to cut the eggs again. So what? So I think I'm sometimes I'm a little bit reserved, and yeah, I thought, no, just get in and do it. And the more I backed up and just went, just do it, Karen. Just split splat. It looks great. The more I did and the more colours I did, look, I don't use all of these eggs. It's only one 12 by 12. But when I'm doing a process like this, I like to make as many as, see, I put too much water on there, didn't I? See, look at that. Way too much. But you know what? I figured, should be right. You never know, it might work. And believe it or not, that one makes it onto the layout. So I just kept pulling more colours. And I know that sounds really weird, but that's what Easter's about, like, okay, so what I'm doing here is getting my trusty paint water. So that's my tomato sauce bottle. I just bought it from a $2 shop. It was like $1. I just keep water in it for when I'm in my craft room and I don't want to get up. And I have a bathroom right next to my craft room, so it's not hard, but it's just easier like that to have the squirty bottle. Works a treat. Okay, here we go. I'm going to do what I can to fix this. I really wanted the citron, what colour was it? Twisted citron. Loved it. I just love that green. I do not know why though. I think I must have added a little bit too much water. It didn't seem to be as bright as last time I used it. I am using a different cardstock. I will rummage through my receipts because I'm one of those weirdos that keeps my receipts. Purely so I can quote things if somebody asks me. Now, what I actually did was when I placed an order, I noticed there was a textured cardstock. Now, I'm just going to see where it was from, because I looked at it and I thought, is that American Craft? No, it's not. It's not American Craft textured, but that's what I ended up using, and it's got the body of, I'm just making this egg, villainous potion. That's what it turned into. And I actually really like that colour. Sorry if you can hear me flicking through my receipts here. I'm trying to work out, because it's a different brand of paper, and I have to be honest, I'll stick with American Crafts next time, because even though this was I'm just reading. Even though, look, they're Easter eggs, it's textured white cardstock. It's not that, it's not rocket science. That's why I used it. But it absorbed more than American Craft. Does that make sense? I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. For some reason, the colours when I put them on it, compared to... Oops, sorry, that was really noisy. Sorry. Oh, voiceovers with this voice. Okay. By now, if you've switched off, I apologise. Just mute me and look below if you want to know what colours, etc. I am not offended in any way, shape or form. Okay. So the let me see. I cannot find where I got it from. I must have chucked the receipt out. But it's a different textured cardstock. It is not American Craft. And I looked at it because it was cheaper. And I thought, maybe if I get... maybe I got it from Amazon. Because I thought, if it's a bit cheaper and it works the same, I'm banging out, what, at least 5 12 by 12s a week, if not double page, so at least between 5 and 8 pages a week. If I can cut the price down a little bit, then that just makes life even easier, doesn't it? Cheaper works for cats. Okay, so cannot find what it's called. It's going to drive me crackers, but I'm going to ignore it, because now we're doing the fun bit. We're doing the really fun bit. I have wanted to do this on a layout since I saw, and I credit this to Virginia Walker from Confessions of a Paper Addict. I saw her do it. I can't even remember. I think it was a while ago. She did a layout and she went around the borders with her inks, and I didn't have any inks at this point. And she went around, I think she used oxides, maybe it was distress inks, I don't really know, but she did this, and I thought that, I actually in my head said, I'm going to do that at Easter time, because that's what I want. I just knew that's what I wanted to do with an Easter layout. So Lexi, sorry, my dog is now going to bark in the room with me. Doesn't that sound wonderful? So here is where I have the problem. I have so many colours out there that it's not just straightforward, and I don't want to make mud. So next to the orange, and then of course what do? Pick up purple. I wanted these splotches not really to go together. I didn't want them too wet, because I'd already worked out that this paper was absorbing more instead of letting the colour sort of sit on top a little bit. Yeah, I didn't want to make them muddy, and it was at this point with the purple I realised that it's mixed with the orange. Urgh. But that's okay. At least it wasn't green, so it wasn't going to make brown. Now this is the Twisted Citron. Tiniest bit of water. I just added the smallest bit of water. And again, I'm putting green next to purple, but that's okay. I was trying to just keep it from muddying up. See how it's not as bright? If you've got the Distress inks and you know how bright that colour really is, Lexi, just FYI, seeing as she keeps growling, Lexi is my, what is she now? She's nearly 6, 6-year-old Chihuahua. We have a few Chihuahuas, and I just have to let you know, Lexi is the typical Chihuahua. Boy, oh boy. She is so protective of me and this yard, and I'm sure she's partially blind. I'm positive of it. Anyway, so if you hear her growl, I apologise. I'm doing a lot of apologising, aren't I? Gee whiz. It's alright. You might have already switched off by now because of my silly voice. Oh dear. I did leave this whole I love, 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 love. Peacock feathers is just that colour. For some reason, the older I get, the more the colours that I'm drawn to are different to what they used to be. I'm drawn very much to the bright colours when I'm doing something like this. Okay, let me explain. So I love my florals and my muted hues of nudes and mauves and, that sort of thing. But when I decide that I want to get messy and I want to do something like this, I go all out and I like it to be bright, and I've had this idea in my head since I saw Virginia do it, but I told myself I wouldn't attempt it until I had inks to do justice for it. So thank you for showing me how to do this, Virginia. It is absolutely fantastic, and I'm definitely 100% inspired by what you did. So full credit there. I mean, obviously yours didn't have Easter eggs, but I'm talking about the colour around the outside. It's fantastic. I love it. So I'm trying my best to keep these colours separate. I actually come back in here. Now I have sped this up, believe it or not. I've sped this up 4 times. So I'm sorry if it's taking what seems like forever. I just realised my phone was in shot there. Oops, sorry about that. Someone was obviously checking out Instagram. So, I did realise it was there. I was doing this, by the way, at like 3 o'clock this morning. And it's now 20 past 2 in the afternoon. And I'm doing the voiceover. See how I'm able to squish it around like that? Normally I just found that it really, really it sort of soaked in straight away. It didn't sit on top. I don't know, I can't even explain it. But see how the twisted citron and the mustard seed, they're just, in real life, they're a bit brighter, I suppose. It's probably just my lights, but I felt that it just wasn't. The purple and the blues didn't seem to, they didn't seem to sit up and be as bold as I thought they'd be. But don't get me wrong, I absolutely love this layout. I absolutely love it, the way it turns out. And I did so many different techniques on this. So I'm doing the packaging technique, I did the foiling technique, I do faux stitching. What else do I do? This is where I decide, throw caution to the wind, and we're going to go a little crazy here to try and get a bit more depth to the colours. So this wasn't the colour I put on originally. This was, so I put on, so where that blue is, it's going to end up looking more like there's a watermark, because I'm sort of doing the tone on tone thing with it. And what's this one? Oh, this is the mustard seed. It's just not, it looks good in real life, but I don't know how to get it to look better. Although I suppose I watch other people and their videos are the same, I guess. Because I often question, is that, you're saying it's yellow, but it looks green. But it's yellow, so I guess I now have that same problem. So I have inks coming out of my ears. And this is where I go, you know what? A little bit of villainous potion. And I'm going to see the purple Seedless Preserves, second colour from the top on the right. I thought I'd do that, and then I went, nope, that's not what I want to do. I just wanted to, I didn't want the full on colour of the Villainous Preserves. I wanted it to be the light bright colour, but see how it's sitting on top there a little bit? So you've got that opportunity. This paper just absorbed it. One day I will figure out, I will. It will eat me up, and I'll go and figure it out. Okay, here comes my little Easter eggs. Can you see that? Doesn't it? It's coming together. It's working. Oh, I really hope you guys are still with me, because it really does come together in the end, and it looks so good at the end. It was a labor of love. I will say that. It was definitely a page, in all honesty. So the ink around the top, that takes no time really. The foiling took the longest amount of time. This is me just auditioning where I want them to sit. And that is not how I leave them. But it was the theory. The other thing I do, and I will mention this to you, is, see, I was thinking I needed an extra one, but I buy things in even numbers, but when I scrapbook them, I like them in odd numbers, if that makes sense. I don't know if you're like that, but that's what I do. So this particular, so my Easter eggs, I actually, when I cut them out, they're about 2 inches high. Okay, moving on. All right, getting a bit more progress on the page now. So what I'm doing here is, this is the photo mat that I'm going to have for my 3 photos. And I wanted the colours to match, obviously. So I decided to just go around the edges of it with the 3 colours that I love the most, which is the raspberry, picked raspberry, mustard seed, and peacock feathers. So those 3 colours, I did mix them a little bit there and went, oh, I like it when it's a happy accident, but it's frustrating sometimes. So just pull out the old heat gun, dry it off a bit. Now, I could have absorbed that bit up, but I wanted the colour on there. So, but that's okay. I just took off the last little bit. See how the pink has gone in? It wouldn't, look at me, I'm doing everything to get this colour on here. It just was absorbing into the paper. I keep whinging and harping about that. I will stop talking about it. But I only bought 5 sheets of this particular cardstock, and I can tell you now, I will not be using, I'll use it for white photo mats or something like that. See how I've got the 2 different tones there? That's what I was trying to do. Okay, so I go around with I distress the edges. I have used another piece of textured cardstock, and I've used my punch. The punch that I've got is called, it's Holly and You. I can't even pronounce what it's called. Carnet Denote Border Punch is what it's called. But any border punch that creates a notebook top, would do the same job. So I just decided to minimize my photos. Now, I only have 2 children in this photo because my other daughter was born 2 days after these photos were taken. My little one. So I have 2 Easter babies. I had my second one at Easter, and she was born in March. And then I had my last one, who was an April baby, and she was born at Easter too. Must have been all the chocolate I ate. Actually, I didn't eat much chocolate when I was pregnant. There's a tangent for you. Okay. Um, oh, sorry. Apologies. Now, there's my little foam tray for my offcuts that I made. I did a video for that one. I popped it up there. Look, in all honesty, that particular video I popped up there because I had a couple of people mention to me that, and I really wasn't happy with it. I did it when I made my other box, it was in a larger scale, so I decided to shrinky dink it, and it was easier for you to see what I was doing. So that's my little tray, and then I stick these little guys down. So, still not sold on the Nuvo Deluxe glue. Still not sold on it. I think once you've gone to art glitter glue, I don't know. I'll use it up somewhere, but yeah, I'm not. It's too wet. You get too much slipping with it. I'm used to having, I guess now because I'm used to the art glitter glue, when you attach it good, and that's where it stays. So now I'm attaching my eggs, and this is where I realise, whoops, didn't put any foam under the end of that one. Luckily it curled up a little bit, so I could squeeze a piece in there. But yeah, so I haven't actually attached the photos yet. Okay, so done, attach. Now I'm just using, I've got an old ink, an old stamping block, and it's just sitting on top of my Easter eggs too until they take. I think because they're on top of it, even though it's the art glitter glue, because they're trying to take on top of that gilding adhesive, it sort of reacted a little bit, not in a bad way, just didn't set up straight away. So I just sat the acrylic block on top, and that was fine. It's heavy enough, it holds it down, it was fine. So just went along. Now all these Easter eggs you'll see at the very end, there's 4 different patterns, and then I just made all the different colours underneath. I just wanted this layout to scream bright and bold, and that's what Easter is for me. You know, like Christmas is always green, red, gold, silver, you know, that sort of colour. Easter for me is just heaven in a scrapbooking sense, because it's just, you can, any colour. When I think of Easter, I just think of all the foil wrappers, you know, from around all the Easter eggs, and obviously family and kids and laughing and all that sort of stuff. But, you know, what's your favourite memory of Easter when you were a kid? I'd be interested to know, especially some of my overseas subscribers. Here in Australia, our Easters, when we have our Easter in March, because I'm in Queensland, usually there's definitely no, well, I don't do it, Easter egg hunts and stuff, because by the time you get them all hidden, and then the kids go out and catch them all like they've got legs. By the time they find them all, they're literally dripping, like, because March is usually quite warm still for us. This year we've been given a reprieve, thank goodness. I hate the heat. Wonder why I live in Queensland, but that's all right. So what I'm doing here is I bought two Couture Creation sentiments. I bought an Easter sentiment, which is what I'm colouring in now, and is out of chipboard, and then I have another Couture Creations. I bought them a while ago. I saw them and I thought, oh, I love bunnies. I love them. We don't have bunnies in Queensland, or at least no one's supposed to have bunnies in Queensland. I don't have bunnies in Queensland. Um, I used to watch, I still do watch, Inky Quill, Adele, and she had two bunnies, and oh my goodness, so sad that they're not there anymore. But um, I just love, don't bark. I absolutely love the bunnies. So what I'm doing is just colouring in the top of this chipboard with my, it's called, it's gold in colour, Uniball Gel Impact pen. This gold is gorgeous. If you want a smooth, flowing gold gel pen, grab yourself one of these, because honestly, I've got the white Uniball Signo I use on here, Uniball Signo Broad, and I also use the black Uniball Gel Impact pen as well. And they flow. I'm so sorry if you can hear dogs. They're actually not mine. Um, someone's turned up next door and they're barking. So, unfortunately, just bad timing on my part. Okay, so I bought this laser cut. Is it called a laser cut? It's just called a chipboard sentiment. I bought it a few weeks ago, full well knowing this is what I wanted to do. Now, I was going to use my white pen to colour in these little tiny bunnies. They're so cute. I wanted to use the big bunny, but it was wasted using the big bunny on, because there's so much going on here. I think it all works, but a big bunny was going to be too much. And the reason I used three bunnies, obviously, my three children. Yes, one wasn't quite there, but she was there in 2 days' time. So I added the three little bunnies. I just painted them with my trusty Mont white titanium acrylic paint. That stuff is so good. No joke. It's awesome. It's bright white. It's so good. So I just put my three bunnies on there, and then, okay, so then it's at this point that, oh yeah, I wrote 2011 underneath it in the gold pen. There's not much to journal. Okay, so here's where it gets interesting. I have this thing when I add things to a layer. I think they look good if you sort of hang some over the edge and it's not a whole circle or not a whole star or not a whole Easter egg. So see how I've trimmed it off just to give it that border? I personally think that's great. Okay, watch me stuff this up. I'm backing this to give it a white border on something that I've already done a cutout on. And bingo. I put 2 lines of tape on the wrong end. It needed to be on the bottom end, but that's all right. I just put some scrap paper over it. It's fine. So then I make the decision. This could have been because I was delirious by this point. If I wasn't delirious then, I sure am now. Okay, so I feel like I need the border to be more pronounced. Do I want to sew on it? No, because I'm not putting all of that mixed media through my sewing machine. So I did a faux stitching black border. I do close-ups shortly, and I don't make you sit and watch. This is sped up 4 times. Trust me. I do them and I do them straight, but it's all good. So I would love, if you have stuck around this long, I would love you to subscribe to my channel. I get a video up at least one every other day. And yeah, so this is my Easter 2011 page. And after tomorrow, I'll have some photos, and I might even do Easter 2022. So 11 years apart. So now I'm just adding, I've never used these drops. I bought them in black Nouveau drops. They're called Ebony Black. And I just thought I needed a bit more black on there somewhere. I know I'm going bright and now I'm going black, but I think the contrast works. And I think when I'm finished, it actually looks pretty good. I'm personally, I think it looks great. And that's all that matters, I guess. Hey, if you love your own work, then awesome. So I will endeavour to leave a big list of my supplies and colours, etc., down the bottom. And if there's anything else you'd like to know, just drop me a message below and I will get back to you ASAP. That is, I just love the colours on this page. I absolutely love it. So I cannot believe I've managed to get through this without a massive coughing fit. Albeit that I've had to have 15 drinks. I apologise for that. And now I'm going to give you some close-ups. So please like and subscribe, and that way you won't miss any of my future ideas. And yeah, there's Nouveau drops. So there we go. Here you go, guys. I just love all that colour. So you can see the stitching around the edge, which it's not stitching, it's faux stitching. Those Easter eggs. Didn't they turn out? Oh, they turned out so cool. I'm sorry, I think I'll blind you here in a second. Yep, sorry about that. Had to get the angle right. Easter 2011 with my little bunnies. Daughter with an Easter egg in her mouth. Kids, I tell you what. Crazy, crazy. It's awesome. I absolutely love it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And I will chat to you again soon. Thank you so, so much. Bye for now.